Reddit. Sometimes when you're scrolling up here on this platform, you won't just find something innocent or malevolent, but something wrong and immoral. Well, today we'll be taking a deep dive on a post that I found on the RBI subreddit about a Redditor who is suspicious that their friend is faking a pregnancy.
This is their story.
On March 10th, 2021, at 4:20 p.m., a Redditor of the name Fake Baby Investigator would make a post on the RBI subreddit asking for help as to how to prove if their friend is faking a pregnancy. Their post is as follows: fake pregnancy, birth, and NICU stay. First post ever and throwaway for reasons. I will try not to give any identifying information, and if this is better suited for another place, please let me know. I will try to make this as clear as possible. If it helps for advice, we are in Texas. I have a former friend that both myself and others believe have faked a pregnancy, birth, and now having twins in the NICU for over 10 months. Her stories are outlandish, and while some do not believe her, she still has people who do. I have noted below so that anyone can understand why this is highly suspect. She claimed to be 3.5 weeks pregnant in mid-June 2019 after stating she had a tubal ligation 3 months prior. Her twins were not born until April 14th, 2020 at 39 weeks. By my calculations, I am not a doctor, she would have not conceived until late June or early July. She had experienced a loss the year prior and did not allow her teenage daughter or boyfriend, father of twins, to attend any appointments or ultrasounds because she quote-unquote didn't want them there in case it was bad news. She shared ultrasound pictures on social media that did not display any identifying information, including the name of the doctor or practice apart from one that had an office name that did not seem to exist in our area or even state. It is worth mentioning that she did gain weight while quote-unquote pregnant, but not much. She never looked very pregnant and certainly not heavily pregnant with twins. I do realize that every pregnancy is different and everyone carries different, so while this is not proof, it does make the situation more suspect. While pregnant, she claimed to be high risk and see both an OB doctor and MFM, maternal fetal medicine or high risk doctor, and that they could not agree on her due date. Her original due date was in February 2020. She initially was scheduled for a C-section in February 2020, but then decided that she wanted to do a natural VBAC when she was ready. She then posted to social media updates and reasons she was not delivering despite going past full term with twins, such as stomach virus, feeling uncomfortable with the hospital, fear of COVID, etc. She then stated that her doctor told her to go to quote-unquote any birthing center and he would be there. Once she finally went into labor, she drove herself to the birthing center at a hospital. Hospital she went to does not have a birthing center, and had a successful VBAC and twins were only 39 weeks. Her reason for the obvious gestation discrepancy was that quote-unquote her doctors could never agree. She then drove herself home the next day, less than 24 hours later while her twins stayed in the NICU. This hospital does have a level 2 NICU. Her boyfriend, twins' father, was not allowed at the birth or NICU due to the pandemic. To date, he has never seen his children at the NICU nor by his own admission signed any paperwork regarding his children. According to the mother, the children do have his last name and he is listed on the birth certificate. No one other than her has seen the children in the NICU due to lockdown, even as restrictions have lessened. The children have steadily had various issues explaining why they were not coming home, including underdeveloped lungs, GERD, reflux, infections, seizures. One infant has reportedly had over 20 seizures starting at birth due to a brain bleed in COVID. She herself has stated that she has had COVID twice, that at least one of the infants has had COVID twice, and that the NICU staff have or had COVID as reasons for them not to come home or for her to visit. These children have been in the level 2 NICU and have not been transferred to another hospital more equipped for their care. She stated this was due to the infants quote-unquote not being stable enough. She posts photos of the children on social media that are heavily edited and cropped. I am not an expert, and using reverse image apps and just looking at pages of Google Images have not been able to locate if they exist anywhere else online except for one image posted on July 11th, 2020 of her twins holding hands and claimed that a nurse had sent it to her. This photo was found on Getty Images. She also posted a photo of her holding hands with her infant in the NICU, and the hands appeared to belong to a man. Of note, numerous photos of these children in the NICU have no monitors, leads, or any other wiring attached. Some even appeared to be at someone's house on a bed. The children also do not appear to grow, despite her stating that they are gaining weight rapidly. Close family members tried to obtain birth certificates online using her information and were told that the records did not exist. She has been confronted at least twice, once by anonymous messages to her, the father, and assorted friends and family, and another time by her immediate family. She quickly blocked numerous people on social media and accused them of harassment. Someone reported her to CPS for medical neglect and nothing has come of it. Family members spoke to the police and were told that unless someone who has given her money or donations presses charges, or she is a danger to herself or others, that there is nothing they can do. They have also spoken to private investigators, but there are financial constraints as well as they can only follow her. She has and is receiving money from her boyfriend's mother for rent and medical bills as well as baby items. I am not sure how that father's mother feels about the situation. I am also not sure how aware that this may probably not be real. He may be just blind from the truth or complacent with her scam. These are his only children and were born in unprecedented times, so he may not have an idea on how it works. I do know a family member attempted to discuss this with him. What can we do? I am hesitant to call her out publicly, and if there are any legal ramifications if I am wrong. I am in a career where image matters, so any blowback, even if it's just on social media, could have a negative impact on my livelihood. Again, I am no expert, but the whole thing seems off. I have become increasingly concerned about her mental health. There must be an end to this never-ending hospital stay, and what if she is desperate enough to resort to kidnapping or worse? At this point, it is not just fraud, it could be a danger to people. It may be rare, but similar situations have happened before and the outcome has been horrible. Thank you in advance for reading, and any advice is appreciated. Many Redditors would give ways on how to find out if their friend is lying about them having a pregnancy. One Redditor of the name Gale's Gold would give a very clever way in finding out the truth in this, with them stating, "This is the simplest way to handle it. The father has the absolute right to see his children. If he presents at the hospital, he'll be told one of the few things. 1. There are no children for him to see. 2. He is not permitted to see the children. 3. Come on in. If he is told 1 or 3, that solves the mystery. If he is told 2, he needs to contact a lawyer. At a minimum, a judge is going to grant visitation to the father, even in NICU. If, for whatever reason, the father doesn't want to do this, then the next step is to wait for a support claim. If she actually makes one, simply demanding a DNA test is a bullet train of proof. Either the children are presented for the test, or she's getting banged up for direct criminal contempt for perjury, along with a few other criminal charges pertaining to filing fraudulent support claims. My guess would be that if it's a ruse, she'll change the claim's paternity of the twins to try to avoid DNA test, along with any fraud or perjury charges. I'm not a family law girl, trust and estates are my game, but I'm thinking there's a process for someone who thinks they're the father of child to pursue a DNA test in order to prove their own parentage. As for you, you're up against two big problems. You lack standing to bring any sort of legal actions against her, and HIPAA, another statute law, prohibits any medical information about her, in confirmation or denial to anyone outside of a specific set of people. Any real agency to compel her to prove the existence of the twins and their current disposition lies with the father. I think this is wonderful advice. OP could use these techniques to see if there really is any children that exist at all. Another Redditor would also give some possible explanations for this, with them stating, "So a couple of things. I don't think there is anything you can do. If someone's dad trust could talk to him, that would be best. There are definitely things that don't add up, but others that could be explainable. Twins are not usually allowed to go to term due to an increase in fetal demise beyond 36 to 38 weeks. There is no way a level 2 NICU is gonna hold onto a kid with seizures, period. There is no such thing as too unstable to transfer from a level 2. They don't even do ventilators. I work in a level 4 and we bring bad shows in from all over the place via ambulance or chopper or even plane. This is the biggest flag for me. All of those complications are possible, but a 10-month stay for 39 weekers is pretty uncommon unless someone needs a tracheostomy or other surgery that causes complications. Now onto the possible but unlikely explanations. In my state, unless parents are married, dad has zero rights without a court order. If mom says he can't visit or gives updates, then that's how it stands. Doesn't matter if he's on the birth certificate. If you didn't birth the baby or get permission from mom, we can't tell you anything. Sometimes with kids in the NICU, it takes a while for us to send the birth certificate to the state. We have parents who change their kids' names after months, and it's no biggie because we haven't filed all of their stuff yet. Calling will tell you nothing. We are supposed to say we have no patient by that name unless they are mom, and we need you to prove you are by giving us a PIN number specific to each patient. At least that's policy in the NICU I work at. Depending on the kid and their condition, the leads are often under clothes, and we can allow parents to take them off monitors briefly for pictures. Often we coordinate feeding tube change day for when parents will be around to get a picture of their kid's face without an orange tube hanging out of their mouth or nose. I see this playing out a couple of ways. What I see is most likely she doubles down and the kids quote-unquote die. No one gets to see them and she can continue with the charade without having to produce babies. It's tragic. Everyone is sad for her. She gets tons of attention and sympathy and no one has the balls to call her out. She is telling the truth but has no real idea of what is going on with her kids. Some parents are kind of simple and never really understand what is going on with their kids. If she is mentally challenged, this may be the case, though I sincerely doubt it. She goes absolutely crazy and steals someone's babies. Not much you can do but sit back and be grateful you're not in a relationship with her. These are good points that are made by this Redditor. It's possible that OP's friend could be having delusions that make them think they are having children, or are faking this whole situation for attention. It's also possible it could be some sort of scam. Two Redditors would also make very good points with them stating, if everyone is so foolish that they've accepted the fact that video chat to see the babies is impossible, it's not. I don't know what to tell you. Immediate family are the ones who need a call because they suspect that she is delusional to get a welfare check. They can call her primary care and GYN. Medical staff can't tell you anything, but you can say, I know you can't tell me anything, but I need to tell you what's going on if you suspect someone is at risk. This is a very good point. I find it very weird that there hasn't been a request for a video chat to see OP's friend's family's babies. The other Redditor who says they work in an NICU would also point out, I work in the NICU and I can tell you no 39-weeker is spending 10 months in the NICU without serious issues. And if those issues were that serious, they would have suggested palliative care so they could pass or transfer them by now to a PEDS unit or home health. This is also a very good point. Another Redditor would also make a good catch with him stating, you know she's faking by the dates alone. If she was 3.5 weeks pregnant mid-June 2019, then we can estimate day 1 of her cycle was before June 1st, but we'll say June 1st for simplicity. I got pregnant in June 2019 also, and my LMP was June 9th, 2019, so I was at least a week behind her. My due date was in March. She was definitely not 39 weeks pregnant April 14th, 2020 if that was one continuous pregnancy. A February due date for twins would have made sense since twins typically are delivered around 37 weeks. But none of that really matters because she is your former friend. You know she's lying and so do others. If her boyfriend thinks that and doesn't stop his mom from giving her money, it makes no difference to you. It isn't your problem, you don't need to prove she's faking. Yeah, I have to agree with this. The dates simply don't line up here with the story OP's friend is giving. A neonatal nurse practitioner would make a comment about the situation with them stating, neonatal nurse practitioner here. There are so many unbelievable things in this story. It would first be really strange to have a 39-week baby born with such immature lungs. Also, most suspiciously, to have a baby born at a level 2 NICU who is seizing and quote-unquote too unstable to move is just absolutely not going to happen. You don't keep an unstable, extremely sick neonate at an NICU who isn't equipped to care for them because they are too unstable. You send a highly skilled team from a more equipped NICU to stabilize the baby and bring them to the more skilled hospital. This would just never happen. Also, to be born at 39 weeks and then go on to spend an additional 10 months in a level 2 NICU is bonkers. Usually in a situation like this, the infant would be transferred to a pediatric floor. Additionally, a parent having COVID is not a reason to not send a baby home. We let infants room in with parents who have COVID. It's not a reason to separate baby and parents, at least where I work. Maybe dad can't physically go to see his children, but he can certainly receive updates via phone calls, as long as mom doesn't deny him the right with the staff. He should start there. All in all, this story seems entirely made up, and your best proof is that she found an image online and tried to pass it off as her baby's. Another Redditor would also make a really good point with them stating, quote unquote, she had experienced a loss the year prior and did not allow her teenage daughter or boyfriend, father of twins, to attend any appointments or ultrasounds because she, quote unquote, didn't want them there in case it was bad news. This important fact is glossed over. Did she receive therapy for her loss? Was this loss a miscarriage or a postnatal death? If so, that kind of event can clearly be devastating. This could be the reason for her behavior, if the children are a figment of her imagination. She's had a psychotic break and desperately needs help. Has anyone tried just asking this woman if she is okay? How has she managed to isolate herself from everyone while claiming to have 2 children? This is the part I find most bizarre. Everyone involved seems to have approached her with accusatory intent. I hope she finds the help she needs. This is a really good point. It's possible due to OP's friend here is still dealing with their loss and could be having a mental episode because of it. If this is the case, I hope OP's friend gets the help she needs, like this Redditor also said. After all this, however, there hasn't been an update regarding as to what happened to OP's friend. Hopefully, if OP's friend is going through some sort of mental issues and is having delusions, that they get the help they deserve. But alright, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. What did you think of this post? Did you think it was real or fake? Personally, I think it could be real. Let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments below. But as always,
Have a nice day.